technology. Yeah. And so there are things that we want to know about. So I'm really very, very glad that you brought this up. And so what it does for me today is that, kids get away. And what it does for me today is that it focuses us on detoxification. Yeah. So as many of you know, we do these presentations every Saturday, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, USA, 6 p.m. in the evening in the UK, 6 p.m. in Nigeria, 9 p.m. in Dubai, 10:30 p.m. in India. Yeah. And, you know, we want to inform the world about what Kangen water is. Many times people don't really know what that means. And there have been many definitions that have been touted over the years, well-meaning, but not actually correct. Yeah. So we're here, as Dr. Secretary says, to inform, to correct, to identify the information that you need so that you can be thorough in your understanding and you can be thorough in your use of Kangen water for your health benefits. Just bringing one other person on with us from India, making sure they are in the fold because they will definitely need the information out yonder there. Yeah. So
bring them on. Could I just say that this topic came up last week from someone in Dubai, I believe. And so I just want to let you know that when you communicate with us, when you jump into the chat, when you interact with us, we do respond by doing our best to bring you the best information we can for you. So hint,
sure.
hint, hint.
Sure. Yeah. You know, very much so. Very much so. So, you know, so we're going to respond, listen to what you're saying and bring you information. You know, the basics of Kangen water really circles around the body's self-healing ability. And here we go. All right. Second, give them a time frame. Oops. All right, cool. So the body is self-healing. Yeah. Give the body what it needs and it will take care of itself. There are many details I'm going to go over, you know, regarding that. So let me just get to my page to share. And I'm going to touch on a number of subjects. And please, when we get to our Q&A session, raise your hand, open your video, do a Wonderama, wave, so we can know that you want to ask a question. There's a little icon on the page that allows you to ask us questions. So we'll see that you are trying to ask, bring you on board, and look to be thorough in terms of giving the understanding you need about the Kangen water machines. Yeah. So we begin at the beginning as I go into some, you know, touch on a number of subjects. So one of the things we're going to talk about, of course, is Kangen water. Our motto, as always, is change your water, change your life. If you're drinking the right kind of water, if you're detoxing the body, if you're getting full nutrition, your body's going to take care of itself. Yeah. And we want to make sure that you have what you need. This is, of course, one of our Kangen water machines known as the SD501, the SD501. And I'm just going to bring one more thing up so I can show you as well. The SD501 has been our flagship machine for the past, 17 years now. Yeah. It's a tried and true machine. It has 7 plates on the electrical circuit. The more plates you have on the electrical circuit, the stronger the antioxidant effect of the machines. Yeah. We have other units. Let me show you one other unit I want to show you right now. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ta-da. Awesomeness. Here we go. We have other units known as the K8. The Kangen 8 machine is our newest model, as I bring that one up for you as well. Sharing all this healthy goodness. And this is the mighty 8-plate anti-oxidizer Kangen water machine. It has 8 plates on the electrical circuit. The SD501 has 7 plates on the circuit. the way electrolysis works is we hit water with electricity, yeah? And so the stronger the wattage, the greater the reaction. You know, what we're doing by hitting water with electricity is we are producing antioxidant molecules, yeah? So the SD501, powerful unit, highly recommended. The Kangen 8 machine, powerful unit. At 8 plates, more surface area for more antioxidant effect to occur. Very powerful unit. The real advantage with the K8 or the 8-plate machine is, of course, it's 8 plates, so it's stronger. Okay, 7 plates is actually strong enough to give you the antioxidant effect that you need for health benefits. The Kangen 8 also has a universal power supply system, so that if you were to travel to any country in the world, this machine will work without having to use a power converter, yeah? So if you're an international traveler, I highly recommend the Kangen 8 machine because it'll be there to provide you conversions of power. You don't have to worry about whether your machine will adapt or not, or whether the actual power converter is effective, yeah? So Kangen water is known as electrolyzed reduced water, and we are here with our electrolyzed reduced water fans and family. We don't call it alkaline water here at Kangen Water Radio, Kangen Water Nation, do we, family? No, we call it electrolyzed reduced water. Why? Because electrolyzed reduced water is the science name that references what Kangen water is. You know, for many years, Kangen water had been called alkaline water. And the rhetoric was, your body is alkaline, drink alkaline water, eat alkaline foods, and your body will be healthy. But in fact, your body is not entirely alkaline. Many of the organs in your body, as you'll see shortly, are acidic. For example, the stomach is acidic in pH, yeah? The lower and the smaller and larger intestines are also acidic, yeah? So we have to keep in mind the body is not entirely acidic, and that there are different organs that are for different purposes and have different pH ranges. So the body is not entirely alkaline. The body is alkaline and acidic. So we want to move away from that. The body is alkaline, drink alkaline water, your body be healthy. It's not how it works. Your body is alkaline and acidic depending on the organ, and it regulates its own internal pH. So we're going to call it electrolyzed reduced water because electrolyzed reduced water is the science term that refers to Kangen water. Here's just a little page that shows you how to look up references to the health benefits of electrolyzed reduced water. Today, we're going to be talking about nephrology. We're going to be talking about kidneys and kidney function and kidney failures. If you want to look up what Kangen water is in science, you never look up the word Kangen water. Kangen water is a brand name, the name of the company's used. The science term, electrolyzed reduced water. Pick your subject and put in what you want to talk about. Electrolyzed reduced water and what? Tumor growth, electrolyzed reduced water and kidney failure, electrolyzed reduced water and toxicity, renal disease, whatever the case is, right? Same thing. So we want to know exactly how to search for what Kangen water is and how to describe it, yeah? So as we go forward, staying steady on the information you need to know to understand Kangen water best. And here we go. So Kangen water is an electrolyzed reduced water. There are a series of different ions and molecules that are produced in this process, and they have the antioxidant effect that allow our bodies to detox. So electrolyzed reduced water is produced in a process known as electrolysis. Electrolysis is a process where electricity hits water, producing antioxidant ions and molecules. Drink the water, your body has an antioxidant or detox effect. So electrolyzed reduced water is an electrolysis process where electricity hits water, directly at the molecular level of water. Yeah. So once again, electrolyzed reduced water, known as elect, right? It produces a process known as electrolysis. Once again, elect, and that's where electricity comes in direct contact with water. Once again, elect. Just making sure that you have a fully understanding, you can make the connection between electricity and electrolyzed reduced water and its antioxidant effect. Okay, so we will move away from alkalinity, we move into electricity. Kind of rhymes, doesn't it? True. So here's your water molecule, H2O, and we're gonna, as I like to say, kapow, hit that water with 230 watts of electricity, which is the effect that's happening inside our Kangen water machines. When you do that, the molecules within the water restructure. Here we see water dividing into two segments. We talk about the different segments involved and the different structures that are produced. I like to kind of sweep over this section here, just so you know that through electricity, you're getting new structures of molecules within the water born from the water molecule itself, and producing antioxidant ions and molecules. You know, we're looking to detox the body. We talk about the alkalinity of Kangen water, but in talking about that, we're just talking about what we use as a measuring tool of the overall volume of detoxing elements and molecules within the water. Yeah, so we hit water with electricity, it restructures the water molecule, and we produce a number of ions and molecules that have an antioxidant effect within the body. Yeah, the body is self-healing once again. If you notice, all the animals in the wild don't have the health conditions that humans have. We are supposed to be the top of the food chain and civilized, knowing the better thing to do and being the healthiest. We're supposed to have the best health methods of keeping ourselves healthy. And I skipped the word, and I'll tell you why in a second. You know, we're supposed to know everything. The question is, why are the animals in the wild, like all these animals like the deer and the foxes and the rabbits and so forth, why are they all completely healthy? Or at least not suffering on a wide range of chronic illnesses like humans are? And why are the humans in the household dealing with all kinds of chronic illnesses, from diabetes, we'll talk about kidney failure today, high blood pressure, chronic pain, neuropathy. Humans just deal with so many things. So keep in mind, the body is self-healing. If you give the body what it needs, proper nutrition, proper detoxification, hydration, it'll perform healthy as it's designed to. We are aware of this self-healing ability of the body at the surface. The skin cells, if you get a scratch or a cut, will heal themselves. What do? We put a little Band-Aid on it, and we wait a few days to see how it's healed. Yeah, we put a little bandage when we get a scrape or bruise. And mommy's being very kind to her son. She looks so familiar in this photograph. Why? Because we know that the skin is self-healing. There's nothing more you really have to do. You keep it clean with a bandage. If there's a fracture or a larger break to a bone, we put a cast on the bone to keep it still, so that as it heals itself, it heals evenly as it was originally designed. The bones can get really badly in condition if there's a break or really bad accident or something like that. We have to put it back in alignment because it's going to heal in whatever form it's left in. Yeah, and we want to make sure it heals evenly. But once again, what are we talking about? The self-healing ability of the body. Yeah, we have to detox the body. The body can fill up with a great number of a great deal of toxicity from all the junk food we've ever eaten, from all the soda pop and drinks and soda that we ingest that are not really organic and designed for the body's ingestion. The body can become very toxic. And if you ever had a fish tank, the fish tank can become quite clogged with toxins. You want to clean that regularly so that it's a clean environment for the fish to function in. The body is very much the same. We have to remove toxicity that gets in the body so that it can continue to function normally. Yeah. So this is just a little depiction of the body and the fact that it's majority water. Your blood is said to be over 90% of the body. The body's total water is supposed to be about 70%. So your hydration is important. And the kind of water you have in the body, if it's antioxidant, can help to detox all the cells throughout the system and out the body. Yeah. and thereby you can be healthier. Remind people once again that the body is not entirely alkaline. We are not alkalizing you with Kangen water. Kangen water has become to be known as alkaline water because some of the molecules within the water have an alkaline pH to them. We only use them as a measuring tool of the overall volume of other antioxidant molecules within the water. So we can say that if the pH is 8.5, 9.0, 9.5, the antioxidant effect is mild to mid-range to highest. That does not mean we're alkalizing you. We just needed to know how strong the antioxidant effect was, and we can now understand that by looking at the different pH levels that give us a reading or an understanding. So look at here, just to keep in mind, the body is not entirely alkaline. We look at the different pH ranges as this diagram talks about the pH values of the human body. We're looking here at the lower stomach. We're looking here at the small intestines. We're looking here at the large intestines. We're looking here at the saliva, the gastric secretions. That's once again the stomach. And what are we seeing? We're seeing ranges that go from acidic to alkaline. So what is that pH range? Anything below a 7 on the pH scale is considered to be acidic. Anything above a 7 on that pH scale is considered to be alkaline or not acidic. Yeah? Some of the organs in the body are below 7. The lower stomach, 1.7 to 4.0, that's below 7. The small intestines, 4.0 to 7.0, anything below a 7 is considered acidic. The large intestines, 4.0 to 7.0, anything below a 7 is considered to be acidic. 7 is neutral, yeah? The saliva, 6.0 to 7.4. That can range from acidic, which is below 7, to above 7, which is alkaline. So what's the whole point of this? The body is not entirely alkaline. We're not alkalizing your body when we give you a Kangen water. We are detoxing your body because Kangen water is antioxidant, yeah? And we want to make sure we understand the distinction between that, yeah? We don't want to get it confused. One other thing I wanted to show you very quickly was, where is it? Come out from hiding. Where did I put it? Here it is. So, and just briefly, this is one of the things we use. Where's my video? Where's my video? All right. This is one of the items we use when we show what the antioxidant level of the water is. It's called an ORP meter, or an oxidative reduction potential meter. So, gee, I must be getting famous. I've got commercials in my videos now, which weren't there before. But there is a meter that we use. It's called an oxidative reduction potential meter, or otherwise known as an ORP meter. This meter shows the positive or negative range of the oxidative reduction potential of a liquid substance. This number here and this machinery here is the ORP meter. This number here lets you know whether a liquid substance has a positive number or a negative number. Obviously, I'm actually testing something that has a positive number. If it was a negative, which means it's antioxidant. If it was a negative, it means on the scale it's an antioxidant. It would show on the screen with a minus sign in front. What I'm showing right now has a positive number. In that case, it was positive 133. As I look further over, you'll see the meters show numbers that are in the negative range. And those would be the Kangen water. And sorry about that, some of my numbers were not staying where they're supposed to be. My video moved to where I set it for our presentation, but that's okay. So some of them have a positive number. So if it has a negative number on our meter, that shows that it has an antioxidant effect. The Kangen water machines produce water that will show up as a negative number or a negative oxidative reduction potential on this meter. What's the point of that? We need to detox the body. You detox the body, it can more easily stay at its proper pH range where it's supposed to be healthy, yeah? So we're not alkalizing, we're detoxing. And as we turn the page over to Dr. Singletary, I'll bring this video back more so we can show more details of it. we'll go into the kidneys, kidney failure, and what actually happens in the process of the kidney's proper health and the kidneys, as they say, failure issues when that occurs. I'm going to stop my video, I'm going to stop my sharing. I'm going to pass the call back on to Dr. Lisa Singletary, MD.
Thank you for that awesome information, Mr. Hope. That's a perfect lead into what we want to talk about today, which is why kidneys fail, right? Why are your kidneys, and you mentioned these two diseases, why are kidneys so vulnerable to high blood pressure and diabetes? So I have some screen sharing myself, just so you know. Let's see, I want to show you an article and then I have a PowerPoint to show you. So let's start with the article.
So love these Saturday shows.
Okay, so here we go. I wanted to just answer the question, why is this even such a relevant topic? Why are so many people concerned with kidney disease, dealing with kidney disease? So the National Kidney Foundation, and these statistics can be found in other places as well, but I like the way they summarize. So I went to kidney.org, easy to remember, and they have a sheet called the Fast Facts. And just look at a couple of these facts. Kidney disease affects more than 1 in 7 adults. That's 15% of the adult population. Approximately, I did not know this, approximately 90%, that's 90, of those with kidney disease don't know they have it. And 2 of 5 adults with severe kidney disease don't know that they have it. 1 in 3 adults in the US is at risk for kidney disease. And this is amazing. Kidney disease, it is a leading cause of death in the US, but it gives you a different spin on the statistics a little bit later. So what is kidney disease? I'm going to talk about that in the PowerPoint. What causes it? The 2 main conditions were the primary diagnosis of diabetes or high blood pressure. Other conditions can lead to it, but these 2, 76% of kidney failure is attributable to diabetes, high blood pressure, or both. Many people do have both. How is it treated? Well, the first word, yes, early detection is great, but kidney dialysis and a kidney transplant, that's how the medical industry thinks about it. And there are a lot of statistics on dialysis, et cetera. Racial disparities, oh my goodness. Children, adolescents, it's incredible with the information that is available about kidney disease. So I want to give you a little background because there's a reason the kidneys are so vulnerable to those 2 diseases. So to the PowerPoint. Let me get this started from the beginning. Okay, great. So where are your kidneys located? We're going to have sound effects one day. I'm sure of it.
Sure.
So kidneys are located just under your rib cage, but they're in the back. And they're in a position called retroperitoneal. They're behind the abdomen. And that was a problem before we had CAT scans and MRIs, because a lot of things were happening in the kidneys, let's say infections in the kidney tissue, bleeding, whatnot, that we would do what we call an exploratory laparotomy. We'd cut people open from the front and look around and take fluid samples and whatnot, but nothing would show because the kidneys were retroperitoneal. So they're in the back, just barely protected by the ribs. And that's why kidney punches are so bad in boxing, because the kidneys are vulnerable there. All right. So blood flow into and out of the kidney. I just want to show you that the oxygenated blood, which we represent as red, and okay, don't talk about my slides, all right? These were, I called a friend of mine, I was like, that I used to teach with. I said, I think my super teacher powers have waned. They have a little bit, but I'm reclaiming my super teacher powers. But I just grabbed some thumbnails and blew them up, and it's okay. Don't worry. Don't worry about the words. I'll make this clear. So the point of this slide is oxygenated blood goes into the kidney, and deoxygenated blood comes out of the kidney, goes back to the heart. Cool. But something else comes out of the kidney. So again, oxygenated blood goes into the kidney, the magic happens, and not only does deoxygenated blood come out, but urine also comes out. So something happens to make this urine, and we're going to talk about that. So interestingly enough, the kidney is not what you would call a fleshy organ. It is it's a collection of millions and millions and millions of little tubes. And all these tubes just kind of cluster together and do their thing. So we're going to look at one lobule. So let's look back at this last picture. So we can see one lobule here of the kidney, and it has several lobules, right? So let's look a little closer at one lobule, and we will see the structural and functional unit of the kidney, which is called the nephron. And the nephron is where all the action happens. But basically, it's a bunch of tubes and blood vessels. So this one, it's hard to see, kind of, but what I want you to really see is that there's oxygenated blood going into these little balls and oxygenated blood coming out of these little balls. But then down here in the renal tissue, we have oxygenated blood going into a capillary bed and coming out deoxygenated. And then this blood will leave the kidneys. Okay, so I use the word capillaries, and I just want to give you a picture of what capillaries look like, because here's the important thing. The lining of the capillary, which we call the endothelium, is only one cell thick. So there's no backup, basically, for them. If anything happens to these cells, and they're just pushed so intimately to each other in these junctions, if anything happens to damage the cells, that's going to affect the blood flow. Now, the lumen, so the width of the capillary, is only big enough to allow one red blood cell at a time to pass through. And actually, this is a nice illustration of red blood cells going through, but it's actually even a little smaller than this, the lumen, because the red blood cells, the average diameter is, well, yeah, average width is 8 microns. And the average width of the smallest capillaries is 4 microns. So they're actually going through a tube that's half their diameter. So the it's really important that these red blood cells can maneuver, they can fold, they can squeeze through these capillaries and get their business done, which is oxygen exchange, nutrient exchange, waste exchange. So here again is an illustration of red blood cells flowing through a capillary, but remember, in real life, this capillary would be about half the size. Okay. Now those are regular capillaries, but this, the kidney has a special capillary called a glomerulus. And that is this little ball here. Remember the little balls in the last picture? The little balls are called Bowman's capsules, but the red part, the capillary bed, is called a glomerulus. So this is what happens. The blood comes into the glomerulus, it filters out liquid, and it keeps in, hopefully, blood cells, platelets, plasma, not plasma, the plasma goes out, proteins, albumin, we look for things, but that plasma then goes in to this Bowman's capsule and goes through the tube, and magic happens and it becomes urine, and it eventually goes out the ureter. So what's happening here? Filtration. The blood comes in, goes through the capillaries. Remember, tiny, 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 tiny capillaries. And then it comes out and goes on to do more stuff in the kidneys. This is a very unique arrangement in the body. And this is why the kidneys are at such risk. And that is because these capillaries are under pressure. They have to have more pressure to push the liquid out into the capsule that's going to eventually become urine. So the pressure here inside these little capillaries is about double the pressure of the capillaries in the rest of the body, and even in the rest of the kidney. So here's a picture of what happens, a schematic. So the arterial blood comes in to the glomerular capillary, like I said, double the pressure. It comes out, and then it goes down and it attaches, or it services these tubules. Then there's here's the real capillary exchange of, well, I'll explain what happens there later, but then that deoxygenated blood will leave the kidneys. But something is so different here with these capillaries than with these capillaries, and that is that the pressure is so intense here and the pressure is low here. So you put it all together. This is, again, just a schematic of what's happening in the glomerulus. The glomerular capillaries, look over here, same thing. Glomerular capillaries here versus the regular, I'm saying regular, the renal capillaries. These capillaries act like all the other capillaries. Oxygenated blood comes in, deoxygenated blood goes out. But these capillaries, oxygenated blood comes in, oxygenated blood goes out. It's all under pressure. And that's so the fluid can be pushed out of the bloodstream into the Bowman's capsule without the bloodstream losing red blood cells and the larger particles. So use your imagination just a little bit. Imagine the damage. If there's too much pressure inside the glomerulus, boom, it could rupture. Then what'll happen? Now you've got red blood cells, white blood cells, platelets, proteins, everything that's in the blood now can will show up in the urine. What if there's not enough fluid in the circulation? Well, remember these capillaries, now this is smaller under normal circumstances. If there's not enough fluid, it's going to be smaller still. And you could have some backup in the flow. And even to the extent that the capillaries can become blocked. What if there's a clot, right? And the clot blocks the capillary. What if there are trees on the surface of the capillary that are made, that are glycoprotein trees that they have a lot of sugar on the surface of the red blood cells? Then as they're trying to navigate through this capillary, it can cause damage to that real thin one cell layer endothelial wall. What if inside the red blood cells, the hemoglobin, you might have heard of hemoglobin A1C or glycosylated hemoglobin. That means that sugar, so when there's excess sugar in the bloodstream, that sugar goes into the red blood cell, attaches to the hemoglobin, and becomes glycohemoglobin. Well, this hemoglobin can't move and fold and react and respond to the capillary. And so they don't flow so well inside those narrow capillaries. What if the red blood cells are sticky from a lot of oxidative products in the blood, from a lot of inflammatory products in the blood, and they form something called rouleau formations? This is different as far as trying to get through, even though these red blood cells, the hemoglobin may not be glycosylated, they're sticky and they're sticking to each other, and so they don't get through the tiny, tiny openings of the glomerular capillaries, and they, again, can have blockage. So there are three functions that the kidney does, and it is magical. I can't even, I mean, actually it does more. They do a lot more. But the main three functions are filtration. That happens right here at the glomerulus, where plasma is filtered through the glomerular capillaries. And reabsorption, so anything that's small enough to get filtered goes through. Good stuff, bad stuff, nutrients, whatever's in the bloodstream, right? So the tubules have the capacity to put stuff back. They recognize, or to keep stuff out. They recognize, well, there's a lot of good stuff there, so we're going to pump it back into the interstitial tissues, and eventually these capillaries will pick it back up. And then secretion. Sometimes there's things that don't completely get pumped out here. For instance, drugs, toxins. And so there are different parts of the tubules that recognize that, and they're like, oh, that doesn't belong. We got to pump that back out so it can be taken out of the body. It's amazing. Okay, but look, if this little area here is damaged, then how is the rest of it going to function? So what's our answer? When I say our, I'm talking about the medical industrial complex. We see that this isn't functioning, right? There's no reabsorption, secretion going on. Ta-da, we can build a machine. So instead of what's naturally happening in the body, we've got dialysis. And this is a dialysis filter. This is a dialyzer. And this is what filters the, I cannot imagine what it feels like to be on one of these machines. I can't imagine it. And, you know, kudos to the big brains of people who thought this up, but what if we could fix just that one little part that's having a problem? Because the rest of this might work, right? If we could just fix this part. So how could we possibly do that? Well, what if we could decrease inflammation? That might help the flow through here, right? What if we could decrease the damage that sugar causes, both on the surface of the red blood cells and inside, attached to the hemoglobin? What if we could detoxify the body, decrease the oxidative stress? Do you think there might be some benefit to these little capillaries? What if we could increase the blood flow? What if, you know, we had a little more good hydration? Would that let things flow better? What if we could decrease the stickiness of the red blood cells? Maybe that would make the flow better through this little piece. And then the rest of this would just function the way it's supposed to. Maybe, right? So just I guess an overview of why these two diseases are ravaging the kidneys so much, and maybe some things we could do about it. Three-pronged approach, anybody? Okay, so Mr. Hope, what say you, sir?
What say I? Dr. Lisa Singletary, MD. We are honored and grateful and fortunate to have you here with us on this Kangen Water Radio, Kangen Water Health and Information Call. There are details like this that none of us have ever seen because there's an entirely different approach taken by the medical industrial complex. And because that approach is from a different perspective, there are things that are never looked at. We never look at detoxification. Nutrition is a subject when it comes to the body's full function. There's a minor understanding of nutrition. There's a high emphasis on pharmaceuticals and various types of apparati, and surgeries. And so we are fortunate and thankful that you're here to show us these types of details, because we're talking about the body, we're talking about anatomy, we're talking about biology, we're talking about biochemistry, we're talking about anatomical function, yeah? And there must be more than one way to approach these things. And now that we can see these diagrams, these pictures, these understandings, now we can look at it from another perspective and have a better understanding. So as you went through your diagram showing the capillaries, which are the small types of veins in the body, for those who don't know what a capillary is, they're more, micro-sized, and they can allow blood flow in a different way by using what is known as capillary action, because allow things to push through. So, like you said, when it comes to kidney failure, what happens if those small capillaries that are so complex and they're intertwining for the purpose of absorbing and pushing through toxicity, what if those were clogged, to put it simply? What if the various toxic elements that we take in on a daily basis compromise that region? And by doing that, disallow the full flow that would occur of water, hydration, blood cells, and various elements going through that filter. Yeah. So filter, detoxification, absorption. That's its function, and a very tight woven menagerie of capillaries. Although it's very organized, but what if that got clogged? And so what are we looking at when we see that area where that could become seriously compromised with toxicity, although I imagine that eventually the entire region can, and an apparatus like a dialysis machine is put in place. So we're not detoxing the areas that are damaged that potentially could be detoxed, cleared, let's say like a roto-rooter or a drain clean, put it that way, and be made useful for the entire kidney again. But instead we've got an apparatus called a dialysis machine, which now is going to filter the blood from a different chamber and achieve the goal, but now we are chronically on dialysis. I've known people who have been diagnosed with kidney failure, and they're on dialysis, this machine, once, twice, 3, 4 times a week. And as Dr. Singletary said, there have been some, and if you are on the call that you've experienced this, maybe you can share your experience, but there have been some that you have experienced this, and one who hasn't may not be able to imagine what it's like to have all of your blood pumped out of your body cyclically over a period of whatever period of time that is, a few hours, and then pumped back in, and then sent back out to go and eat whatever you want to eat, only to know that this is going to clog up again and you have to get back on this table. It's a horrible situation to have to go through, I think. And then if you are 30 years old and 35 years old, and imagining that you now have to do this until the rest of your life, and if you're hoping to live to be 80, 90, 100, how does that make you feel about life?
But then on the other hand, Mr. Hope, and I really thought about you when I put this presentation together, because I know you have given on this call, as well as on the phone call when we were on freeconferencecall.com, the testimonies of people who were on dialysis, started the 3-pronged approach, and then started urinating again, or the kidney started functioning again. How could that possibly happen? People might think, right? And every time you would give that testimony, I would think to myself, if only people could know how possible this is. Now, disclaimer, disclaimer, disclaimer. Okay, we do not prevent, diagnose, treat, mitigate, cure any diseases. We support the body. We give the body what it needs in order to do what it's designed to do. But it's when I first heard testimonies like that, and I have from other people who did at least 2 prongs of a 3-pronged approach, not maybe they didn't do all 3, but even just 2 prongs would unclog those glomeruli or decrease the inflammation in those glomeruli, and the rest of the kidney starts to function like nothing ever happened. Hey, I've been waiting to do my job here.
Right.
So,
yeah, and so when I hear the term kidney failure, what we have to realize truly is the kidney. I'll put it in 2 ways, and they may seem like they contradict each other, but I'll put it in 2 ways. The kidney does not fundamentally fail per se. What happens is we get a clogging in the capillaries in the kidney, and when that clogging occurs, you can no longer get water through as you need to. You can't get the proper blood flow going through, the blood cells and so forth cannot get through as they need to. And if you can't get flow going through the kidneys, you can't get activity in the kidneys as is necessary. And so without activity within the kidney over a short period of time, what would happen? You get something called atrophy. So the kidney's not doing any work. The work it does keeps its, strength, whatever muscular strength is there, whatever, strength is going on in that area. Just like if you're not working out on a muscle, or if you take a journey up to space, and you're in zero gravity, there's no pressure on your muscles. The astronauts were coming back formerly, with atrophied muscles, right? Everything is not working because there's not constant work being done on it. The kidneys in the same way are experiencing atrophy, so lack of hydration, lack of blood flow, blocking of the capillaries leading into the kidney itself that are essential for its function, then cause a lack of use of the kidney, which causes it to break down. So now you don't have a kidney that's functioning, and you could say that. But once again, what if we recognized what the real issue was with the kidneys, that they don't fail, they clog? And is there a way that you can clear a clog?
So exciting.
And if you can clear that clog, can you get back to function again? I had a woman that called me, and she told me that she was actually detoxing on a regular basis. She had full nutrition, which I had not introduced to her, but she had gotten the 90 nutrients that I talk about all the time. And she had all these things going. And I'm listening to her because she's going to dialysis once a week. And I said, well, what kind of fluid restriction are you on? She said, well, they don't have any restriction. Why? I said, well, how often do you urinate and go to the bathroom? She said, oh, maybe 2-3 times a day, maybe 4 times a day. And you're going to your dialysis how often? I'll go about once a week. And she said to me that her doctor at the kidney dialysis center said that oh, you're our poster child for good function. So the kidneys function when you hydrate, when you go to the bathroom. Usually a person with kidney failure cannot go to the bathroom. They cannot urinate because there's no function going into the kidneys. But you're urinating 3 and 4 times a day. You go to the bathroom 2 to 3 times a day as far as bowel movements. They called you a kidney failure patient? Well, yeah, I'm on dialysis. You need to go and talk to somebody else. I don't know if they have you there for other reasons, but your condition would not be diagnosed as kidney failure. And who is saying that you've got kidney failure when you're functioning normally as you should? And they have you. So if you can clear the clog, the body should go back to its function, because that's the only reason why, other than the atrophy. And then you might need some nutrition as well behind that to build back up the kidney function and the other organs associated with it, because you may have lost some function there. And when you're building an organ, a body, you need food, nourishment. If you have a break in a bone, you need nourishment because you have to have the bricks to put the bone back together. So keep in mind your nutrition is vital. So, but it would be good news for people to know that there's more than one way to approach this. And it all comes down to as well, how we have been taught, or how the medical industry has been taught to address various issues and what those limitations are. So if we only have surgical apparatus as an option, if we only have pharmaceuticals. Now, what is a pharmaceutical? And I'm going to be brief because I know we have to go into Q&A, and Dr. Singletary, you've got other things to talk about. So you take the element out of the natural born substance. Let's say there's a healing element in a papaya. And I know that this one particular element in papaya will now help a person recover from XYZ disease. So I take that out and I synthesize it somehow and I combine it with other elements, and now I give it to you in a pill form. But what have I done? I've taken that element out of its natural occurring plant or whatever it came from, And now I'm putting it into a new structure. I've taken out of one structure and everything was designed for that nutrient to work best. And now I put into a new structure that is synthesized and unfortunately toxic. What it came out of, let's say it came out of a fruit, was not toxic, but it was put into for you not to take it. Listen, we hear the advertisements every day and every year about all these pharmaceuticals that are advertised, approved by the FDA, and then given a litany of a list of different effects or side effects, they call it, that can cause death and organ damage. But what if they left it in the element they got it from, rather than take it out and put it into a new structure? So I've got a fruit that came out of, I'm going to create an artificial fruit, if you will, to give it to you, and why? So there's good questions and there need to be good answers. That's right, Dr. Singletary. So we need to have a better understanding of how the body works. The body is what? Self-healing. Here, although you won't find it at the bedside, you certainly will see it in a number of locations where scholarly letters and science research has been done to show you the benefits of detoxification. In particular, I'm looking here, I did a search for electrolyte reduced water in the kidney, and it came up with a nephroprotective effect of electrolyte reduced water against induced kidney toxicity and oxidative damage in mice. Yeah. If you go through these different articles and science reviews, you're going to see the outcomes that have been beneficial. Yeah. And this is all talking about the kidney. Why are these beneficial? Because if you have something that can detox the organ, yeah, you remove much of what can be the damaging effect on the body. So I pause it with that. I know we've had a ton of questions flooding through down here as well, and I pass the call back on to, well, it is in your hands, but we're just sharing information back and forth. But yeah.
Well, I saw Irene's hand go up first, so let us ask Irene to unmute. I just,
sure.
While she does, I just want to say, I hope everyone can know how excited we both are about this information. So, hey, Irene, welcome to the call.
Hey, I'm here. Okay, let me just shut this thing off here. Okay, since you're talking about blood, and my question was about, why does in your microscopic blood work, we get to see my blood work in a rouleau? How do we get that?
Your audio is a little choppy there, Irene. You might have to repeat the question and maybe pull over for a second because it's chopping up as you travel.
Yeah, I heard the word microscopic blood work and I heard the word rouleau. So there are some people that have machines, microscopes that can look under, look at a drop of blood that's live. And like most of I've seen my blood live. I've seen one of those, I've used one of those machines. And sometimes the rouleau form as a result of the blood drop being exposed to oxygen. I believe, they didn't tell me this, but I believe this. Yeah. Sometimes it's from whatever's going on inside the body, but there's also, anytime there's certain things that are not designed to be exposed to air. Blood is one of them. Brain tissue is another one. They're just certain, the body is compartmentalized very strategically. So when certain things are exposed to air or oxygen in particular, oxidative stress begins to form, and that will have consequences in the subject, whether it's in scar tissue, rouleau formations, all these different, depending on what it is that we're talking about. But I hope that answers the question. I'm listening.
What
Okay, yeah, it's not coming through.
Yeah,
I
it's a little
can't hear.
inaudible, yeah.
I can't hear any
I'll
words.
call you back and we'll talk about it.
Yes.
Very good.
All righty. Well, thank you, love.
We have some questions in the chat box. I think the top one was, may I ask how water affects the intestines, urinary bladder, or some parts of the abdomen, and a reference to sarcoma cancer. I can start with that one. If you want, Dr. Secretary. So, like we mentioned earlier, you mentioned hydration. The intestines, urinary tract, bladder, and we'll add kidneys to that combination in the abdomen. You need water for all the functions of the body. It is important for hydration to be present so that there's water for the expulsion of toxicity in the intestines, for the expulsion of toxicity going through the urinary tract, the bladder, and of course associated with that are the kidneys. So as we showed earlier in the talk that Dr. Singletary showed, it's important for hydration to be present to allow for the detoxification. And of course, you may need some other elements present to help with toxic loads, things that can be anti-inflammatory. And if you can achieve that, you have the opportunity for better function. Remember, all function within the body occurs with water. No water present, dysfunction will occur. The distinction about Kangen water is it is an electrolyzed reduced water that has an antioxidant effect on the body. So now you have a water that can more effectively detox, these organs that you reference and you ask about. Yeah, you asked about sarcoma cancer, and I just kind of combine them all together. In that cancers have a certain type of metabolism, and with that metabolism, there are ways that you can approach dealing with that. A cancer's metabolism is different than a healthy cell's metabolism, and because they produce their energy differently, you can affect one and not affect the other. So I can block or inhibit a cancer cell's metabolism because one of the elements it uses to produce its energy is a waste product from the healthy cell's metabolism, something called lactate. So if I can minimize the presence of lactate as one way to approach it, I can minimize the element used by the cancer cell to produce its energy. Now you'll find something like that under the heading of cancer cell metabolism. And if I have something that can detox more successfully, something like lactate can easily be minimized. So I'll put it that way, but detoxification can help with things regarding cancers. And there's a great deal of data under the subject of two things. One, cancer cell metabolism, and two, the Warburg effect. I could write that down someplace, but the Warburg effect. I'll put it in the notes so that you have Warburg effect. And Warburg, Dr. Otto Warburg, was a scientist from Germany back in the 1920s. He came to discover, was given credit for the understanding of cell respiration and as well the metabolism of cancer cells, and put together some concepts of how to compromise the cancer cell's metabolism without affecting the healthy cell. Now, because these things are done once again in science, the research has been done years ago, it does not mean that you'll find it by the bedside, that your doctor will know about it or has been versed in it. I've met some very seasoned, what I thought were very seasoned immunologists and scientists and doctors who had never heard of the cancer cell metabolism. And these people were easily in their late 60s, maybe early 70s, and chiefs of immunology labs at some of the highest level research facilities throughout the country and never heard of it. My conversation with them was their introduction, and they were very shocked and never heard about it. But some of these things don't end up in medical school. Someone asked me yesterday, they said, well, if detoxification and nutrition and hydration were such great ways to approach health, maybe that's why they were removed and replaced by pharmaceuticals. That's one way to think about it. But the fact of the matter is quite different. And it's the one element that we're missing. Notice the range of chronic illnesses that exist from the I'll be conservative, 60s. I was going to say 50s, but I'll be conservative. The 1960s through today. And notice the stark increase in all the chronic illnesses. Yeah. Notice how these things didn't exist maybe 100 years ago, particularly not in the range that they do today. So what was better? What we had or what we have? Someone asked a question, Dr. Singer. They said, what is the best water to detox? Is pH 11.5 or 9.5? And I'm glad you asked that question. Why? That question often arises from the concept that has been taught for the past decade now. And that concept has been because our machines have pH reading levels on them, 8.5, 9.0, 9.5. They have been referred to as alkaline water machines. And because they've been referred to as such, it has also been said that the water was alkaline. Now it has an alkaline pH, but its alkaline pH is not why it works. It has also been said that the water is alkaline, that your body is alkaline, and to drink alkaline water, eat alkaline foods, something else alkaline, and you'll be healthy. And it's not accurate. It's well-meaning. People just did not know. We're here to reteach this, to give you clarity, yes? So when you look here at the Kangen water machine, whether you have a K8 or an SD501, you'll see these settings. 8.5 and 9.5 as well. And 9.0, right? These are simply indications, reading levels. They measure as well the overall volume of other antioxidant molecules within the water, of which there are many. Molecular hydrogen is one. Platinum nanoparticles are another. And so the water is antioxidant because the ratio of alkaline ions to antioxidant molecules is a bit 1-for-1. I can now say the higher the pH, the stronger the antioxidant volume of molecules available. So now, because of that, I will have more antioxidant elements to detox the body at the higher pH. 9.0. So 8.5 being the lowest level and milder volume of detoxing, the 9.0 being the mid-range and 9.5 being the highest. Yeah. So when you ask a question like, what level is best to detox at 11.5 or 9.5, you want to detox the body. You don't want to alkalize the body. 11.5 is a setting on our Kangen water machines. And I wish I could just show the screen I'm on. I hope I can. On our Kangen water machines, that is for a different purpose. 11.5 is for detoxing food and vegetables. You know, chicken, fish, meat, fruits, vegetables, whatever. Soak your food in 11.5. It'll pull oil-based pesticides out of your foods. Yeah, it'll emulsify the oil and get rid of the pesticide. And other toxins can be pulled out. You drink the Kangen water per your body type and your body's ability to detox hold on one second, somebody's making me some noise. All right, and body's ability to detox at certain levels. So I said that the 8.5 9.5, and 9.0 are different ranges of detoxification. The 8.5 is a mild detox. I recommend everyone drink the 8.5 for the first 30 days if it's your first time drinking Kangen water. If you're going to give water to someone brand new, give them the 8.5 level. After 30 days, go ahead up to 9.0 or 9.5 if your body is comfortable with that detox rate. Now, understand, the stronger the antioxidant effect or the greater the volume of antioxidant ions in the water, the stronger the antioxidant effect. Right, so reverse that. So now you have to now read your body language. I'd say to people who are dealing with extra weight, body weight, or if obesity is an issue, I recommend they stay at the 8.5 level because they have a higher toxic load within the fatty cells, and you need a milder detoxification to remove that comfortably. If I gave them a 9.5 pH, it could move more toxins than their colon can handle at a time. So I don't give a person who's carrying extra weight 9.5. There are some individuals who always detox better at 8.5. Yeah, because it's a milder detox and their body can always handle that. Some other people, can do well at the 9.0 and 9.5. Sometimes they're on the slenderer side. They may be more athletic, but they can do well there. Yeah. So your body type will dictate, and your body's ability to detox will dictate the level of pH, that's an antioxidant level, of the water you should be drinking. 8.5 for the first 30 days for the average person, thereby 9.0 to 9.5 if their body is comfortable with it. There's no race to the 9.5. Drink the level of water your body detoxes best at. If you're drinking 9.5 and you're not seeing results, drop down to 8.5. If you drink the 9.5, you find yourself dizzy all the time, your body can't detox at that rate, and it's kicking up more toxins that can be released. Come down to the 8.5. If you drink the 8.5, go to 9.0 and 9.5, and you feel comfortable, stay there if you like. I often drink the 9.5. Sometimes I come down a little bit because, that 9.5 will detox you and get you running to the bathroom a lot. You got to go to the loo all the time, right? So I drink it per my comfort at that time. So to answer the question just very, very clearly, what level of water is best to detox? 11.5 or 9.5, 8.5, 9.0, 9.5, depending on what level your body can comfortably detox. And you never, ever, ever drink the 11.5. 11.5 is a mineral mix in our machines. It's not just entirely electrolyzed. It's a mineral mix to increase the volume of the antioxidant effect in the water and to make it more emulsive to oil, to break down oil better. But it's not made for drinking. It has some excess minerals in it for a different purpose, to create the 11.5 water and to create the 2.5 level. So that concept of let me drink the greatest 11.5, the strongest alkaline water because my body is really sick and I need to be really alkaline. Wrong. Your body is self-regulating. As long as you detox, it'll get back to the pH level it's designed to be at, and you will be healthy because of that. Your body is self-healing. It takes care of itself. Yeah.
So, Opas, are you there? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you perfectly. I'm glad you're here by audio and video.
Okay, nice to see you. I'm Jeremias from Angola.
Angola, nice to meet you.
Yeah, so I need to know how long we can feel our body discharge. So if we start with the 8.5, and then how long in terms of the time we can feel that my body is fine?
Okay, I think I understand your question. If you're drinking the 8.5 level, how long before you feel good results before your body can become healthy? Yes?
Yes, that's it.
Okay. It would depend on the individual, their toxic load, and their nutrition level. Your body needs proper nutrition, which means you're not eating junk foods, you're not drinking soda, which pulls from the body's minerals, and you're eating the proper nutrition that the body needs to have its body filled. So we have the best water in the world. Yes, we all agree that. That's why we're here. But you have to eat properly. Yeah. So proper nutrition. And what we're providing is an energy boost, because molecular hydrogen from our machines increases your energy level, which will increase the energy level of the cell and the organs. But we're also giving you detoxification and proper hydration. And I would say, look for your results. Make sure you're doing proper nutrition. I recommend people to drink the water per their body weight of about 75% of their body weight in ounces per day if they're trying to detox and recover from some sort of issue. If you are 125 pounds in US figures, that translates in stones for our British to, I think, about, what was it, 8 stones. You want to drink 4 liters of water per day.
4 liters.
4 liters per day.
Okay.
And drink it at a prescribed rate. So pounds to stones, which I'm being all things to all people, pounds to stones. Yes, I was right. So about 8 to 9 stones, 125 pounds, you're drinking 4 liters of water a day, or 4 quarts. You begin your day in the morning. When you first wake up, before you eat anything, you're going to drink 1 liter of water. It's actually much easier to drink when you first rise in the morning, because your body is actually in need of hydration. And before it begins to have its hunger pain for breakfast, it's open to water. Very easy to drink that early in the morning. So first rise, when you keep it at the side of your bed, or go straight to the kitchen, to your machine, 1 quart of water. Try to finish that within a 30-minute period. Do the same thing at about noontime or before lunch. Do the same thing about mid-afternoon, maybe 3 to 4 p.m. in the afternoon. Do the same thing before dinner, around 6 or 7 p.m. So you've taken in 1 liter of water at 4 cycles throughout the day. You're detoxing and energizing your body with the water throughout the cycle of the day. And that can help your body be at a detox level, which is more easy to keep itself at pH balance consistently. Do that over a 30 to 90-day period. Somewhere within that range with proper nutrition, your body being self-healing should see some good results with whatever you're working on. And otherwise as well, try to consult with a doctor if it's something very, very serious, but look as your core, as your nutrition, your hydration and detoxification. Nothing goes on the body without that. If you have a need for your immune system to be stronger and someone wants to give you something to boost your immune system, that immune system needs certain nutrients to function. The body is not functioning in a vacuum. Doesn't mean that your nutrition depleted and someone gives you something to boost your immune system and your immune system is just supposed to work. It requires certain nutrition, yeah? So nutrition, hydration, detoxification, 4 times a day, 1 liter, full 4 liters, and then look for result, in conjunction with the doctor's monitoring. Mm-hmm.
All right, thank you. Thank you, I got.
Good to hear you from Angola. Do you have a Kangen water machine already?
No, I'm still waiting. I already talked with Pamela from
Oh, yeah. You're in Rwanda. No, you're in Angola right now. This is Alfredo.
Yeah, I'm afraid of.
Oh, yeah. It's good to see you in person.
Yeah, I'm back in Rwanda.
Yes. Okay, good. I know you're getting ready to get something with Pamela, and I've spoken to her already. So when you're ready, she's ready.
Yeah. Okay.
And we look forward to getting your Kangen water machine and getting that health, and certainly spread it to others. Huh?
I'm so excited to get this thing. I already speak with a few friends of mine, so they already they want to see my Kangen water machine. Then I guess they will follow up.
Awesome, very good. So they can actually purchase from you as well once we get you in the system, and you can be part of our team worldwide, Angola, Rwanda, and Dubai as you travel. So we're glad to have you on the team. Good to meet you in person, my friend.
Okay, good to meet you too.
All right, God bless you too.
Hi, Dr. Lisa. Here's my wife.
Oh, let me see the wife. Hi, nice to meet you. My name is Hope. Good to meet you. I love the purple and white kitchens. Beautiful.
Yeah. All right. I'm still in the meeting. I'm going to follow up till to the end.
Understood. Okay.
All right. Thank you, Dr.
You too. God bless you. All right. Dr. Singletary?
we have our first official guest host or guest speaker on the call with us today. And I would love for everyone to hear from our sneaky smoothie creator, the amazing, what was it called? Health at your fingertip, or some relaxation at your fingertips, something. It's all good things at your fingertips. We got it right now. Anita Prendergast, welcome.
Yay! Glad to have you here. Oh, the sunshine looks great. It's working for your video. It looks great. Yeah.
Thanks for having me back. I'm so glad I can hop on. Every time you send me the reminder, I'm like, oh, I'm on my way to somewhere. So I was glad that I was able to join in today. Yeah, I had actually a question. I was wondering if the water is safe for someone who is going through chemo treatment, like currently.
Good question. So great question. So now the basic concept of Kangen water is that it's antioxidant. It detoxes. Yeah. So throughout in your entire body, now you have a water where water is already going to all the cells. That is now also, I'll call it an antioxidant agent. Yeah. So by doing that, you can detox all the cells throughout the body simultaneously. When someone takes a chemotherapy, keeping in mind for those on the broader audience, as I'm aware you already know, Anita, the chemotherapy itself is not per se a medicine. It's not per se a nutrient. One may not even be able to call it a prescription medication. It is really more of a poison. Yeah. And so when one takes it in, the idea is to kill cancer cells. But because it is a poison, it is indiscriminate at what it kills. Yeah. So it's destroying everything. Some people have taken chemotherapy and have not survived the use of the chemotherapy. It has been toxic to the point of, fatal. Yeah. But for those who take it, and of course they do survive that, their body is dealing with a plethora of damage, an incredible amount of dysfunction occurs. People lose their hair. I'm trying to bring up a slide, which I'm muttering about, but I'll wait for that. People lose their hair. They have nausea. They have sickness. Their body becomes weak. They become drained, and sometimes they don't do well at all. So what do we need to do? We need to do a couple of things if someone is taking chemotherapy. Let me be very clear. The first thing we have to make sure is we're detoxing. So if someone is on a chemotherapy regimen, I would personally recommend that they take a bottle of Kangen water with them. Let the chemotherapy go through. If they are electing to do chemotherapy, which I'm not actually a big advocate of, but if they're electing to do chemotherapy, let them finish their session, and immediately after, drink a liter of the electrolyte reduced water, what we call Kangen. Because the chemotherapy is going to go in, it's going to do whatever it's going to do, but you've got to get that toxicity back out of your body. So begin right away with your detoxification after the chemotherapy session. Secondly, and this is imperative, cannot go around this. Chemotherapy, and I'll add to this, radiation, removes a lot of nutrient substance from the body as well. It kills the microbiome. So the healthy bacteria has been wiped out. Your microbiome is essential for communication between the brain and the gut and the immune system, as well as other functions. If that's not present, you won't have an immune system to speak of. Yeah. So you must detox, which I recommend Kangen water for, to remove that toxicity of the chemotherapy. And you must re-nourish the microbiome. You have to get the body's proper nutrition back in place. Yeah. And stand by 1 second.
So also, if I could piggyback on what Mr. Hope was saying. The articles that he showed us, he didn't say the words when he was reading the titles, but on Kangen Water, Electrolyze, Reduce Water, Kidney, when he was on Google Scholar. The first article was talking about the nephroprotective effects of electrolyzed reduced water on, this study was in mice, but they were in mice given cisplatin, which is a chemotherapy drug. And article after article after article shows the protective effect of electrolyzed reduced water in different types of patients on different types of chemotherapy. So like Mr. Hope was saying, the chemotherapy does what it's going to do, and this is the good thing about I guess chemotherapy is it's usually selective. Chemotherapy and radiation therapy is selective for cells that are reproducing. You know, it's affecting the DNA. They're having a high turnover. It's causing mutations in the cancer cells so that, you know, they will malfunction and die, right? So you'll find that cells that are turning over more quickly, such as the hair and the hair follicles, such as the intestinal tract, they turn over very rapidly as opposed to other cells. If we can get the chemotherapy agent out of the body in time, then those cells can be protected from the full damaging effect of the chemotherapy and radiation therapy. So not only is Kangen water safe in chemotherapy, it is absolutely beneficial. I mean, within the terms that we can use, we can't make claims, right? But doesn't it make sense to get the toxicity out of the body once it's done its thing?
Right.
So
yeah.
And there was a question, Irene just wrote in, what level does a patient take after chemo? We haven't discussed this. I would say 8.5. And that is because there is so much toxicity that we don't want to overwhelm the body's ability to eliminate it. Because, you know, if we, once the chemotherapy happens, not only do we have the effects of the drug lingering in the body's tissues, but also when the tumor is killed, that debris, those cellular bits and pieces are also toxic to the body, and we want to get them out. So that's a lot of oxidative stress going on. I mean, magnitudes more than the body is designed to handle. So
yeah, it's another level than people are even thinking about, because what I talked about was expelling the toxic load of the chemotherapy itself. But then, of course, you have dead cancer cells, and you're expelling that. Unfortunately, you're probably also expelling some of the dead cells of your own that have been killed off by the chemotherapy. So you have a huge toxic load. And like I was saying, it's imperative behind that you have a good supplement to replenish your microbiome and your full mineral, vitamin, amino acid, essential fatty acid load, because you have lost all of that. And the body is not going to be able to take care of itself or fight itself or become stronger if it's not at full nourishment. The body does not act in a vacuum. It needs nutrition. That's why we're hungry, because we eat to maintain our substance, our strength. And that has to be replenished. So it's imperative.
Or it will rob from Peter to pay Paul. Your body is amazing. It will seek resources. It will redeploy resources as needed, but it will sacrifice less crucial systems for maintaining more crucial systems. And it has a hierarchy. It's very, very intelligent, the tissues of your body. So over time, you see that wasting, because it will harvest the muscles and the fat tissue in order to keep energy going to the brain, for instance.
That's awesome.
True.
I love the way you guys are so thorough with your answers. I appreciate that. Thank you.
We're so glad you could be with us today. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
So, Mr. Hope, I know we've gone late again, we've gone long, but I have I found this, I have a surprise for you. And it is slightly off topic, but you mentioned through the years what's happening with medical, the medical industrial complex and how we're treating chronic disease.
Right.
And we can consider diabetes like the hallmark chronic disease. I'm not saying it's the end all be all, but my goodness, the statistics we saw earlier and the effects that it's having made me really think of this map. So,
oh, are we going there?
we can't not go there, right?
Oh, wow.
So 1994, 95, 96, 97, 98. Look at what's happening to the prevalence of obesity and diabetes. Side by side, you can see them. Is this not breathtaking? And that was old news, right? So I'm just going to stop it there. But
okay. And so that reminds me of a presentation I was in attendance, where I was in attendance, and there was a geneticist who was talking about diabetes. Of course, he was one of two of the leading geneticists on diabetes in the United States. And a map just like that, which was a statistical chart of the incidence of diabetes and its increase over, at that time, he put a 5-year period. And it showed where there was a zero or minimal presence of diabetes in the country, let's say going back to 2005 to 2009. And of course, this increase based on the color chart by 2009. And I think we'll probably have to wrap up here. I'm watching the chart, and there's about 50 scientists in the room. And it just occurred to me, he's a geneticist on the subject of diabetes. He's presenting this information to support the argument of diabetics and genetics. After the presentation, he and I had a private conversation. I said, I was looking at the data that you presented. His data came from the CDC, like I believe that chart you did, the Center of Disease Control. And I said, from 2005 to 2009, you have an exponential increase in the rate of, in that case, it was type 2 diabetes. I said, well, if that is consistent, where the color chart shows minimal presence of diabetes in 2005 and an almost a maximized increase, exponential increase per year by 2009, I said, let's take it back like you did in the maps you just showed. Let's take it back to 2000. And that from 2000 to 2005, if your charts are consistent going backwards as they are going forward, at some point we're looking at a zero incidence of type 2 diabetes or extreme minimum. And here we're looking at a 10-year period. So I said, well, if this is consistent and accurate, I look at genetics as something that goes from generation to generation. And in a generational incidence of diabetes, the map should be more consistent as you see widespread diabetes and then exponential from there because you've got children born and so on, so forth. But I said, this is within a 10-year period. And so you've got nothing in 2000 and maximum 2010. I said, based upon the information you provided in your presentation, diabetes cannot be genetic. It's got to be environmental.
Exactly.
And I asked everyone when I say that, what was his answer to me? What was his answer to me? Now, keep in mind, we were speaking in private. And his answer was immediately, well, you're right. And then change the subject. He and I were walking and talking, change the subject. Yeah. So it becomes blatantly obvious. My question was, how come the scientists in the room didn't notice that? Whatever the reason. So we have to be more aware of the environmental issues that are going on, that the body is self-healing, that once upon a time, contrary to what's being said, health was better among humans, and health has gotten dramatically worse. And we have to get back to the point of proper hydration, full nutrition without toxic loads added to it, and proper detoxification so we can have a healthy population and a healthy community worldwide.
Amen.
Amen.
So thank you, everyone. Our environmental issue we have to be aware of is the time. So thank you for joining us today on Kangen Water Radio. This is Kangen Water Health and Information call number 398. We're almost at 400, Mr. In fact, next week and will be 400. And so I think, okay, you have to choose the Flexner report or the Warburg effect.
Flexner right, first, then Warburg.
For call number 400, we're going to talk about the watershed moment in medical history in the country, the Flexner report, funded by the Carnegie Corporation or Foundation, whatever. So stay tuned.
Changed our medical educational system and pharmaceutical and medical approach overall.
In ways you just won't believe. And it's the effects are still being felt today. So come on back next week. But in the meantime, if you want to see this video again, if you want to get this information down, you want to, I'll tell you what that was all about. You want to see the replays and the resources that we get, the articles that we use, go to YouTube. And we have a playlist there. Just go to YouTube and look for the Kangen Water Radio channel. Same Kangen time, I love saying that. Anyway, you'll find the replays, but if you look in the description section, now if you're on a desktop, you'll see the description start and you click see more. But if you're on your phone, there's a little caret, a little down arrow next to the title of the video, and that will open up the call resources to you. And I just put all kinds of good stuff in there for you to peruse, for you to review, for you to enjoy. So that's the Kangen Water Radio YouTube playlist. And that'll give you all 20, this is 21, I think, videos that are in there. Also, in that description, you have the link to our call archive. So you'll have access to all 300 plus, almost 400 calls with one-click access. And as well as, all the new calls are there too. The links to all the new calls are there too. And let me highlight calls number 50 through 54, which is our 5-step cycle of cancer series, where we go into even more detail about what happens to the body at each stage of cancer and how predictable it is. And maybe there's something we can do about it with the 3-pronged approach. Now, many of you get emails from me. I'm so glad to have you on my email list. if you do not, please make sure that either Mr. Hope or I get your email, because we'd like to keep you on our contact list so that you get, the notifications. And when you do go to YouTube or Facebook, because we're on Facebook Live on Kangen Water Radio, do all the things, please. Like us, love us, comment,
Get some more of it.
subscribe, all of the things. Okay, so we'll be here on Wednesday on the Dr. Lisa Health Zoom at 1 p.m. Eastern. And I don't have my topic list right here, so I can't tell you what it's about yet, but it's going to be something sexy and juicy for Kangen Water Radio. And we would just invite you all to join us at that time. Mr. Hope?
I thank you all for joining us, and we'll see you again here at Kangen Water Nation's Kangen Water Radio on the Kangen Water Health Information Call. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Dr. Lisa.
Thank
Dr.
you.
Lisa and
Thank
Dr.
you.
Oh, thank you.
Thank
Thank you all for
you.
saying hi. Bless you all over the world. Thank you. Bless you. Bless you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
Wonderful call.
Thank you.
Thank you for
Blessings.
joining
I
us.
hope. Thank you so much for your information.
Pleasure. Glad to be here to help. Glad to be here to help.
Thank you from your home.
Thank you so
dear.
much. Thank you so much.
So, Mr. Hope, only you can end this call.
Oh, is that the way it works?
Thank you,
Okay, well,
Dr.
I'm gonna
You have the power.
Lisa.
You are the
let
host.
me hit the magic button. I feel so bad to say goodbye to everybody. Okay.
Don't forget
all right.
3 p.m.
So-
the memorial for our nice friend, Sophia.
Oh, today at 3 p.m.?
Yes, today.
Okay, I'll
yes.
be there. Absolutely.
Yes.
Thank you for that reminder.
Sure.
Thank you
If
for
you
that
go
reminder.
to Enagic Friends, the info is there.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
You know, before I head out, Sophia Adams, wonderful person who became a friend of mine.
Yes.
She was one of the face and
Uh-oh. I think we lost Mr. Hope's fluidity. Okay, looks like you're frozen, Mr. Hope. I don't know. Hi there, Aida. Good to see you.
Hi, nice to see you. Nice to be seen.
Mm-hmm.
We love it. Okay, he's back. Looks like you're back, Mr. Hope.
yeah, and she passed away.
Yes.
And so, we're all very, very sad about that. And there's a memorial today for her. So as a matter of fact, if someone has the information, you say, and that I'll take a pause. Hold on.
Enagic family, at Enagic family, you will find the poster and the time. Well, the time is 3 p.m., but all the
All
other
right, let me.
Yes.
All right, is that on Facebook or is that a website?
That is a what do you call that?
Website?
No, I don't know if it's on the website. It's a
Facebook group.
Yeah.
And what's it called again?
Enagic family. Enagic family. It's what is the name of that?
Magic Family. All right, enagic.com family. I hope. Yeah, I don't see the post. But today at 3 o'clock, There will be.
Yes, just give me 1 second. Yes,
Okay.
Mr. Hope.
We'll go ahead and
It's
put
on
this.
WhatsApp. It's a WhatsApp group.
It's a WhatsApp group.
Yes, Mr. Hope. Yes, WhatsApp group. Yes, that's
Okay.
what it is. I'm
So
sorry.
is there a phone number to join that group through?
Oh, you know, I wish I could. I don't. You know what I'm going to do? I'll send it to you. Can I do that?
Yeah.
That is the only way I could do it. Okay, I have your phone number, Mr. Hope.
Okay. Or post it to me on Facebook and I'll post it.
Oh, I might not be able to
Send
do
it to me
that.
by
So,
phone and I'll get it.
okay,
All
I'll
right.
do that
So
right now.
anyway, yeah. So amen, everyone. A memorial for our good friend and close friend of mine. I was actually very emotional for a moment there. It kind of really caught me. You know, but Sophia Adams, and she passed away very unexpectedly and very young. I don't think she was more than 30 years old or so. And
Wow.
you know, and we're very sad about that. So we're gonna love her and spend time in memorial with her today
Yes.
at 3 p.m. Okay.
So I will do that right now. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And God bless you all. And we'll see you again. All right. God bless Sophia. All right. Everyone take care. Yes, I know. All right. God bless everyone.